General Dunford. When is enough? You set out to shut down the criminals in charge. It's way past time for results. Get it done now. Signed, We the People. Excellent overview. Ancient Chinese families, elders, along with ancient European sovereigns, have long pooled and still control the vast majority of physical assets on planet Earth, and have for many centuries. This epic wealth exists in a variety of holding areas, in a variety of trusts, and dispersed strategically throughout the world, with little to nothing known about them for security reasons. Cumulatively they are generally understood as the global collateral accounts. These global collateral accounts have devout keepers who watch over them and protect them as humanity's assets, not their own. These keepers exist all over the world, and go unknown to the general public, again for obvious security reasons. These global collateral accounts underwrite every sovereign bond, currency, debt instrument in our modern banking system without exception, regardless of the amount of debt instruments produced, as they can cover any man-made debt. These global collateral accounts have an advanced control system which has been under constant attack since formed in the late 1700s. The current Western banking elite, Eastern Europe, USA, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Turkey, Israel, etc., aka cabal governments, have attempted to both steal and replace the global collateral accounts system through means of war, treachery, murder and corruption. In fact, a 400-plus-year coordinated attempt to usurp the control mechanism of the global collateral accounts has been endured. What we are witnessing now is the public rejection of that failed but continuous assault, with the vast majority of sovereign nations now fully united in unwinding their fiat-based debt banking system and replacing it with a permanent gold-backed system of sustainable value. These truly united nations has accepted through signature a single monetary authority located in China, to be under the control of both the Chinese elders and European sovereign families. The Western fiat banking system is collapsing under the weight of its own lie, and thus quietly being dismantled via a painful process of margin calls. This includes the Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, Central Banking System, Federal Reserve Bank, Bank of England, Metals Trading Markets, USA Incorporated, cabal governments, etc. Be advised that the Asian Investment and Infrastructure Bank, AIIB, is a Chinese elder creation, with exclusive oversight privileges separate from any government, including the China and Russia. However, the BRICS alliance was also created to publicly acknowledge the collection of sovereign nation-states committed to following the financial principles of the Chinese elders and European sovereigns, who in return for this pledge, get to leverage generations of social benefit loans funds against the hard asset base of the global collateral accounts. Any sovereign nation not abiding by these Chinese elder European sovereign financial principles simply is not allowed to join the AIIB, and thus excluded from accessing global collateral asset wealth. No sovereign nation may trade or commence in banking activities with any nation not a good standing member of the AIIB. Nations are either in with the Chinese elders or they're out. There are no more in-between games being played after what's gone these last 70 years. This global financial structure was originally introduced by the Chinese elders and agreed to during the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire, post-World War II. But that system has deteriorated into what the current Western banking system has become, and the world is now getting a toe out of the usury ditch. Sovereign nations may join at any time if they agree to abide by Chinese elder, European sovereign financial principles. None are excluded. Based on these above facts, no sovereign nation in good standing with the AIIB BRICS alliance is recognizing the USA, Incorporated, figureheaded by corporate spokesman Barack Hussein Obama, as of the 1st of January 2016. Also, no sovereign nation associated with the AIIB BRICS is allowed to recognize the USA, Incorporated's fiat currency, USD, as being valid starting also on the 1st of January 2016. No sovereign nation associated with the AIIB BRICS is allowed to recognize Pentagon Dark Hat-controlled military operation as being representative of the free will of the Republic of the United States citizenry as of the 1st of January 2016. Japan has secretly joined AIIB, and this fact is set to be announced at the next AIIB conference January 16-18 in Beijing. All 2008, 2015 and 2016 turbulent market crashes were attempts by existing Western banking system families to retain the illusion of financial dominance, which they technically never had. That effort has failed. All 2001, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2015 military conflicts were also attempts by non-global collateral account families to retain the illusion of military dominance, which no government can successfully achieve without the support of the Chinese elders. European sovereigns' global collateral accounts by design. Those efforts have failed as well. Thus all conflicts, be them financial or military, are now being publicly resolved by the Chinese elders. European sovereigns as to reset humanity and all cultures, back onto a moral fundamental platform backed intangible assets, still underwritten by the global collateral accounts. Believe nothing verbatim you read, hear or see on mass media as non-global collateral accounts. Western banking families influence populations via media devices to act out in their favor, and against their own best interests, and have been doing so since the invention of the printing press. Currency revaluation. Currencies are not necessarily resetting to higher rates, rather they are simply returning to the truth of their original issuance. Meaning, whatever true value a country holds in say stored assets, below and above ground, plus whatever land mass they and other countries recognize as sovereign, however many people exist in their designated territories, also whatever current or future GDP can be reasonably forecasted based on a common algorithm formula is the true value of the country, and thus their currency should reflect its value in a global marketplace. Therefore, the financial abundance everyone is waiting for with the currency reevaluations are really nothing more than restorations of sovereign wealth value, that is a return to the truth. All AIB-affiliated nations have accepted the Chinese elders' value algorithm, by their own free will, and thus common global currency value can be calculated against a benchmark gold standard, with each currency being higher or lower than the benchmark set by gold. Many gurus think metal assets are exclusive to this revaluation, however these calculations are much deeper than just gold. So the RV is in essence a return to truth, and or transition back from unsustainable fiscal insanity to a more sustainable and communal sanity, versus say a dynamic worldwide banking transaction whereby decimal points move and suddenly the poor instantly become rich. Now new wealth creation where none had been before will result from this transition, but it's not the main objective of the event. That said, the RV will be released only after a series of global events have been completed to the satisfaction of the Chinese elders paying for the RV, which in turn sets off a worldwide financial release of liquidity that yes restores currency values for all sovereign currencies, some of which are dramatic. For instance in the US, know that one piece of the puzzle that had to be in place before anything could happen financially was the US military establishment being reconstituted, which took great courage and sacrifice, by a great number of patriotic people, who received less than any credit over several decades. Many died in completing this process, but many, many more will live. Thank you to all the families of those who helped bless all of us. Also, another scheduled event is political regime change in the form of a new republic government that replaces the illegal USA, Incorporated, which was headquartered in Chicago and domiciled in Puerto Rico, and controlled by Catholic Church in Rome through Washington, D.C. Therefore, the epic fiscal moment that everyone is so eagerly waiting on is actually a complicated and dangerous series of worldwide events that all had to be accomplished, by several sovereign nations, before anyone got paid. Thank you to all participating nations of the world who seek peace over war, prosperity over poverty and love over hate. We are most grateful here in the USA and Canada. All nations of the world must now move forward together or be left behind until a new government and leaders can be installed, no exceptions. Pentagon White Hat Military and US Banks redemption locations have been made to function on a 24/7/365 readiness alert level since November of 2014. This includes field commanders, bank executives, call center staff, 800 digital technicians, all of which are ever prepared and waiting for their activation green light. Federal, state and local military units in the air, land and via special forces are in place and on constant high alert status across every state of this union. The biggest concern the elders have is keeping the keep, which means avoiding a bank run and the ensuring chaos that creates among the non-redeeming public, which BTW is greater than 98% of the general public or 326 million as citizens. Therefore, it is advisable to not wait when given the opportunity to redeem. Go immediately into a redemption center once the 800 hashes are provided. Do not share your experience publicly, or even privately with friends and family for your own safety. Have an RV-ready bag close by so that when the 800 hashes come out, you can head into a redemption location as soon as possible. Middle of the night appointments are best. Redemption locations will be open 24 hours until the majority of the internet groups have made it through. Once the bulk of early adopters has made it through, look for the political announcements regarding the new Republic of the United States. Republic of the United States. Republic Interim President General Joseph Dunford has been sworn in. His introduction as president, replacing Obama, will come as a surprise to most, and the elders are very sensitive to regime change without there being a public conflict to justify it. The Republic, Dunford announcement can come at any time, but is suspected to be rolled out around the State of the Union address on January 12, 2016. Elite troops from Pentagon, White Hats, Chinese and Russian special forces are all in place and have been for several months, waiting invisible and undercover, but ready to physically remove or eliminate any threat to a peaceful transition of government finance. The Global Republic announcement will begin an educational media package that will expose the world the USA, incorporated government that mimics the true Republic of the United States going as far back as 1871. Federal Reserve Bank will be announced as in default and closed. Internal Revenue Service will announced as in default and closed. Homeland Security will be announced as defaulted and closed. FEMA will be announced as defaulted and closed. US Congress will be announced as an illegal entity and be replaced. 2016 US elections will still take place, but all that new candidates will be introduced and old candidates either taken to jail or given amnesty. All Cabal Supreme Court justices have quietly been replaced. All Cabal cabinet members have quietly been replaced. All Cabal senators and congressmen have quietly been replaced. All Cabal Pentagon military commanders have quietly been replaced. All Cabal banking executives have quietly been replaced. And all information regarding the above regime chaining mandates will be seen via the emergency broadcast network system shortly, run on a continuous loop until the vast majority of the U.S. public has been notified of who, what, where, when and why happened to their country. Determining how previous generations let this happen, and their generation being asleep at the wheel now with all of these public events going on, will be totally on them. Remember one thing about this block of intel: if the money hits like we think it will, there will be many aspects of what is discussed above that are sure to take place in the near future. Be alert,